crazy, crazy, crazy play. I haven't seen a play like this ever. All right, so but walking through our thing is we got to look at position. Yes, pre-kick at this point looks like it's going to be an onside kick. You got 5 officials in the box. They must only have 6 on this game. We got 5 officials in the box. Okay, and now we'll look at the movement, and then we're going to look at judgment and determination and see if everybody finishes, because this is pretty crazy. So here's the play. Get ready to look at this. This is nuts, guys. All right, onside kick attempt. Here you go. Okay. Has anybody ever seen anything like that before? So you've got an onside kick that's kicked forward and then ends up going backwards. It's going backwards. It's going backwards. It's going to the 31. Yeah, this is definitely interesting. So, Mike, what did you vote?
Well, nobody touched it until the 31, right? So that's what I couldn't tell.
Well, there was first touching at the 42. The guy bagged it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there was first touching at the 42.
Yeah.
Even so, they're going to decline that spot, and they're going to take the result, and that is that possessed by the kicking team before it goes 10 yards, ball's dead, and that's where the receiving team gets it.
All right, Bill, what do you have on this one, Bill? What do you got?
Yeah, I got the receiver's ball back at the spot. He picked it up, 31.
I'm going to go to the final results. We did have somebody who said penalty. They changed 83%, which is fine. And Mike, I'm not going to put you on the spot here, but I want to walk through this play. Okay, we're going to walk through it. All right. So right here, what's the result of the play? What's the result of the play? Who has the ball at the end of the play?
Kicking team.
The kicking team has the ball at the end of the play. So the result of the play is that the kicking team has recovered the free kick at the 31-yard line.
Correct.
So where the thing comes in is the spot of first touching. Can you have 2 spots of first touching? That's the thing.
Yeah, Matt Sumstein actually said it very well in the chat. Matt Sumstein's here with us today.
And what did Matt say in the chat?
Matt said the result of the play and the second first touch.
Second first touch. So that's the point here, because the result of the play is that the kicking team has recovered the ball. So if you go back to the beginning of the play, and I'll move it forward here. You go back to the beginning of this play, and you look at it and you say, all right, now let's say that's the first touch, and now the kicking team they land on the ball, or they recover the ball 45, 50. Well, obviously they got the ball, but the receiving team is going to take the spot of first touching, because in a normal onside kick, that ball would have gone beyond that spot, and it'd been more advantageous for them to take the spot of first touching and go for first and 10 from that spot. But because the ball goes backwards now. Okay, now the ball goes backwards. So now this becomes a recovery spot, but you can also say it's a second first touching or a second touching. So now it's more advantageous for them to take that spot than it is for them to take the 42, which is why this play is rare and why it would cause. It was interesting because we had a similar play like this a couple years ago that generated a lot of discussion, and there's your final results. So we did discuss, can you have 2 spots of first touching, or in this case, or if you do have it, what's the result of the play? But that's the interesting thing. You have to walk through yourself, and you have to take your time, because sometimes the result of the play may actually end up having you go a different route than what you think, because the logic says 31, well, that makes the most sense. But if it was something that prevented that from happening, if you didn't walk through the right process, then you may end up at the wrong spot. So 31, but know why. Not just because that's where the kicking team picked up the ball. It's because it was another spot of touching, and it's a more advantageous spot in that regard, and that's why you're going to put the ball there. I guarantee you, Mike, I'm going to get a rule hawk on this. Now, Matt's on the rules committee, so I'll go with Matt, but I guarantee you I'm going to get a rule hawk on this saying that, no, that's a recovery, that's not a spot of first touching. I guarantee that's going to happen. And then they're going to say, you got to go to the 42. All right? Well, You can find me an interpretation. Find me an interpretation where that says that that's not a spot of first touching, that's a recovery, and that changes how you would enforce it. So just understand, I like Matt, what he has to say, because it makes a lot of sense to me too.
I think Matt hit it right on the button. And the fact of the matter is, when you're talking about first touching, what you're saying is the kicking team has touched it before the receiving team has touched it, before they're eligible to recover a ball as the kicking team. So I don't care if they touched it 11 times, it didn't go 10 yards and it wasn't touched by the receivers. So every one of those touchings is considered first touching.